All right, so I'll leave you to start.
Um, all I heard was from Andrea that this is an interview, and I assume it's about the upcoming event. Is that right?
Exactly right, yes.
So, just as a bit of history, it was when COVID came along that alarm bells started to ring, as it did for many people. And I thought, I've got to do something about this. So, I joined the Freedom Network and set up a local branch of that. And then, whilst that was great at protesting, after a while I felt actually what can I do to create something better to replace what is there? And so then I heard about the People's Health Alliance, and I set up a local branch of that. And then we thought maybe we could have a more friendly name, hence the Taunton Health Hub name came up. And since then, we have done lots of educational once a month meetings with speakers and getting practitioners in to give sort of taster sessions. And so we call those talk and taster evenings. Um, and our mission is to empower people to take care of their health. And I'm not going to get into a NHS blaming situation, but it's part of our culture that if you're not feeling well, what do? You go and see the doctor because the doctor knows best.
Quite. Mm.
As you know, having read your story. So, however, one of the results of this almost religious belief is that it can take time to convince people that they can have the courage to take care of their health themselves and to explore all sorts of ways in which they can be healed. That doesn't involve a pill or an antidepressant or whatever it is. So that's what's really been driving me. And now I'm supported by a small team of people who are helping me get these events off the ground. Um, and my ultimate vision, if you like, is to set up a local community health centre.
Yeah,
So,
good.
yeah, so people can come in and talk about their illness. And we have something called personal health reviews where people can come in and talk to somebody for not 10 or 20 minutes. And I'm not blaming doctors who are overwhelmed, but talk for half an hour, three-quarters of an hour. And I have a questionnaire that I've developed so that gradually you can find out a bit more and help them find out a bit more about what might be the cause of the illness. Because as you know, so many illnesses have an emotional cause.
Yeah, exactly. Trauma, it seems, really does get stuck in the body physically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when we come to your event, we're going to be bringing a couple of chairs with us.
Yes.
One of them is a trauma release chair, and I've been amazed at the sort of results we've been getting. Just incredible.
Fantastic. Um, Sorry to be practical, but will you need a power supply?
I certainly will.
Okay. I'll notify the person who's arranging all the stalls to make sure you have that.
And it'll be covered in some sort of tent or something.
And this is all indoors in a big hall.
Oh, perfect. Good.
Yeah. This is a much bigger one than we had before, and we're expecting well over 100 people to come. Um, and I'm very supporting a lot of people are doing a lot of publicity, either digital or taking leaflets around the town and all of that. So that is definitely working.
Great. And if more people turn up than expected, is there any extra room?
Yes, because we've got a separate room for the talks, which can take up to 50 or 60 people or whatever in chairs. But the main hall is just for the stalls. And there's also a kitchen, so we'll be putting chairs and tables in that part of the hall that's near the kitchen so people can have their refreshments there. But it's also about meeting people, asking practitioners, can you explain how this works or that works? And again, we're giving them the opportunity to offer taster sessions. So for 20 minutes, half an hour, they can give an example of it and they'll just charge a tenner. And so people can try different modalities.
Yeah, very good. Very good. I mean, certainly people need to know that there are so many alternatives to pharmaceuticals out there, and they are well hidden generally. The
Yeah.
press are certainly not going to tell anybody about this stuff.
No, and I was just remembering earlier on, there used to be a homeopathic hospital in somewhere like Edinburgh, Glasgow. It used to be within the system, but not anymore because, as you know, it can't be scientifically proven.
There were I think 19 or 20 homeopathic hospitals in the UK in general. I think Glasgow and London were the last ones. You
Yeah,
don't get to be a clinic unless you're good. You don't get to be a hospital unless you're really good. But
yeah,
20 hospitals.
yeah. God, I didn't realize there was that many.
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, similarly, there were hydrotherapy centres around the spas. Pretty much every spa from Leamington Spa to Bath Spa or whatever had something going on involving water. And in Bath, there is the mineral. I think it's called the Mineral Water Hospital. It's now becoming a five-star hotel, but again, a big hospital devoted to the healing properties of mineral water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in Bath of all places. Yeah,
exactly. Imagine that. But people forget, and not only were the hydrotherapy joints, promoting water therapy, but a lot of them were using electrotherapy. And Guy's Hospital, for instance, in London, they started their electrotherapy department in 1843,
wow.
and 100 years before that, John Wesley, who founded the Wesleyan chapels, he was healing people with primitive battery technology. And he became famous because of his healing abilities, I think, rather than his preaching abilities.
Mm.
So the hydrotherapy places around the country used the technology primarily of Tesla, because by the turn of the last century,
Yeah,
people were realizing that whereas the previous electrotherapy devices had been primitive, with Tesla coil technology, of course, everything changed dramatically. And I've got one that used to be in the hospital. So these were commonplace, and you could basically cure the whole body at once with one of these. Um,
yeah.
and
I've seen some of those at one of your talks because I've been to quite a few of your talks, and I remember seeing those. They're amazing.
well, they are, and
Mm.
generally speaking, people who've been in chronic pain, doesn't really matter how long, quite often come right out of pain in 5 minutes or less. I've got a video, which hopefully one can find online, where I get 34 people out of pain in a row with a 100-year-old piece of equipment, 34 in a row, and all of them less than 5 minutes a time. Yeah, so we're going to bring as many toys as possible with us. And then if people do happen to have problems, health issues that they want solved in, painless, interesting, quick way, I haven't got much patience, so I like the devices that do it in 5 minutes. I don't want to spend half an hour doing it.
Uh,
In the same way that I don't want clients to come back. I want to fix people in one go and then get on to the next person. Because one of the reasons Freud was so successful is he said, look, if you come back every year, you'll be better. If you come back every month, you'll be better still. If you come back every week forever, and how many new clients do you need if you got them all coming back every week?
yeah, that sounds really good.
We'll also bring some of our supplements as well, uh, because over the years, I've been at this for a long time now. I've realized that what it really comes down to is almost everybody is low on the same half a dozen things.
Right.
So recently we've got together what's called the 30-day rejuvenation pack, which actually contains 10 things because you want to press all the buttons ideally. And surprising how many people are just so low on basics like vitamin D in winter, vitamin C, magnesium, selenium, iodine, some real basics. And people just don't realize why they're low on them. I mean, partly it's just the soil is empty of nutrients, but people are having a shower, say, without filtering the shower water. So if you are exposed to chlorine, not only is it a poison gas, so you don't want to breathe it in, but it goes in straight through the skin. And that knocks out the iodine that would naturally be in the cells and in the thyroid. And so most people are desperately low on iodine and they have no idea. I mean, it's so cheap, it's 20 or 25 pounds for a year's supply.
Wow.
And of course, the pharmaceutical industry does not like a problem like that, a solution like that. In Japan, they never used to have a word for menopause because they got so much iodine in all the seafood and the seaweed in particular. So they eat seaweed 3 times a day. That things like breast cancer and menopause issues were incredibly rare, if barely known at all. Um, so iodine is one of the big secrets. The one that basically fixed my rheumatoid arthritis 40 years ago. I'd had an antibiotic and that knocked me for 6. And it was basically magnesium as the main thing. Anybody's in pain or got cramps or menstrual cramps, muscle cramps in the morning when you stretch, headaches, anxiety, panic attacks, heart attacks, arrhythmia, constipation, sleep issues, uh, aches and pains. The chances are that they're low on magnesium because everybody is, just everybody virtually. Because not only is there not enough in the food that we're eating, but stress as a thing, the
Yeah.
body responds to stress by burning up your magnesium levels. So everybody, if they listen to the radio or something, or they go outside, they're going to be pretty stressed, way more than we should be. And so everybody's low on magnesium, and some people get suicidal because they're low on magnesium. All
Um,
sorts of things can happen.
oh, didn't know that.
The sports people who drop down dead, with heart issues, myocarditis and so on, an intelligent emergency room doctor, if you came in having a heart attack, the first thing they do is inject you with magnesium because it relaxes every part of every cell relaxes with magnesium. So it can literally stop a heart attack just like that.
Mm.
So, you think that people might think, well, what if I took some magnesium and prevented the heart attack if they think it's a risk? Because like everything, there's quality and quality. A lot of magnesium out there, if you buy it from the supermarket, is going to be a waste of time and a waste of money. Um, there are loads of different types of magnesium, 50 or more different types out there, different salts of magnesium. And some work really well. Some cure your constipation, but they don't do anything for your heart. And, you know,
So how do you know? You've got to just try them, I suppose.
well, you want to find a reputable source, and obviously I'm biased because for the
Yeah,
last 20 years, I've been manufacturing what I think are the best quality ones out there. And clearly it makes a difference.
absolutely. I mean, we've bought in the past, say, from Good Health Naturally, which we've assumed to be a good
Yeah,
source.
no, uh, that has always been a really good company since Robert died, the founder.
Mm.
I don't know who runs it now, but hopefully they've kept up the high quality that they had.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd like to, if you're bringing some with you, I'd like to have a look at those when you come.
Yeah, for sure. Send me send Andrea
Yeah,
your email and say, please, Clive says, please send you membership to the Secret Health Club if you're not already there, and a 30-day pack.
okay. I'll have to check because I'm pretty sure that one of those went through. Yes, I've got a password, username, so one of them went through.
Yeah. So it is actually a very interesting resource. There's so much information because years ago I was beginning to get fed up with doing consultations all day long. So when the government first shut me down in 2014, made me remove all my videos, I thought, well, I'll just start a private club where you can do anything you like. So the Secret Health Club has become a sort of A to Z. So people say, well, I want a consultation. I said, well, look up whatever's wrong with you and watch a few of the videos. And if that doesn't answer it, then come back to me.
That's a very good approach. Yep.
But the other thing that's worth noting is that um, uh, the Secret Health Club is a pay to join membership club. However, obviously, a lot of people who've got very little money, in which case they can just write to me and say, I've got 15 quid. That's
Yeah.
fine. If they're completely broke, they can write to me and say, I'm completely broke, and I'll sign them up for free.
That's very good of you.
Well, I think information should be free.
Yeah.
If it didn't have staff and have to eat, it would be free. But, eating handy.
And you'll be bringing literature about the Secret Health Club.
Um, Probably not, actually. We'll bring some literature about some other things. But
Okay.
secrethealthclub.com, anybody can just.
Okay.
There's also a pound entry. We have to charge something, ideally, to make a contract. But for the pound entry, you can see all the information about supplements that we're not allowed to put on my main website, which is clivedecarle.com. The advertising standards won't let us tell the truth. Telling the truth is against the law. Just like curing people is almost against the law, depends what it is. So all the information we would have put on the supplement site is for £1 available on the Secret Health Club. So you don't have to join the whole thing.
Okay. I'll look at some of your videos. That sounds good.
Good. And I'm sure your event is going to be absolutely brilliant. So how are people going to get in touch with you to sign up to it?
Okay. We're not going to do an Eventbrite situation. We're just going to go very straightforward, cash on the day. They just pay a tenner and in they come. But I am asking them to leave their email address so we can notify them of future events.
Yeah, very good.
And that seems to work. So we've now, we use MailChimp, which you'll be familiar with. So you can really send one email out to a large number of people.
Yeah, MailChimp banned me years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If they don't like the message you're sending, they'll just cancel you, which is what they did to me. The club.
Talk about control. I remember, I remember, the magazine What Doctors Don't Tell You.
Yeah.
That used to be the best-selling magazine in W.H. Smith.
Yeah.
And until they were told not to stock it anymore.
Yeah, it's criminal. It's still a very good magazine. I subscribe to it.
Yeah, same here. Yes, and one of the other speakers, Fiona Shakeela Burns, she survived cancer twice using natural means. And she has her own organization called Cancerucan, which is a bit like a secret health club in terms of being careful. And we went to one of her events, which were going to be in Bristol. And then the week beforehand, the venue cancelled it.
Yeah.
So she had to find another one very quickly.
Yeah, I've a few years ago, I was doing talks in Ireland, Southern Ireland, and every single venue got phoned up by people saying you can't have this man, and some of them went along with it, some didn't. So when one of them didn't, they just did a bomb threat and had the building evacuated.
Bloody hell!
Yeah,
they're desperate. They really are.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope, as this is meant to be the year, we're told, let's hope that will all change.
Well, exactly. People have got to stop complying.
Yeah.
And realize that in a way, there's nothing wrong with the system. Parliament seems a relatively all right idea if it wasn't filled with psychopaths.
Yeah. And
But now,
bribery.
now with the what's that new bill called that's come online today to do with freedom of speech? So from today onwards, if somebody's offended by anything you write or say, they don't have to explain why they're offended, but that is now I think I don't, maybe it's a crime, something like that. I think so. The online safety bill, that's the one.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Run by fact checkers.
and they're always right.
Oh, dear. You have to laugh, otherwise you can get quite depressed and angry about it.
Yeah, and staying optimistic and doing stuff positively is the answer. I used to get depressed, but I try not to allow myself that luxury anymore. It's a waste of fucking time.
Absolutely right. And I do honestly believe it will all change. It may not happen tomorrow, but it is going to change. The old order is going to crumble.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. So, well, look, lovely speaking to you. And just
Yeah.
say once more for the benefit of people who missed it at the beginning, what date and where?
Okay. So it is April the 6th, which is a Sunday coming up. And the venue is West Monkton Village Hall, which is literally on the outskirts of Taunton. Do you want the postcode?
Might as well.
TA2 8NE, and I am sure that Andrea's got that, but I can always email it to her.
Cool. And the speakers, just briefly, who are they and what are they going to talk about?
Well, we're starting with someone you know, I'm sure, pretty well, Dr. Tess Lawrie, founder of the World Council for Health. And I just can't believe my luck, that because she's just been in America, she travels around the world. They're represented in 40 odd countries around the world. But they do want to actually set up what they call regional councils in this country. And they've asked me to one of the people to coordinate the Southwest with somebody else, Health Source at Totnes,
Yeah.
Catherine Hooper. So we're working on this together. We've been asked to do that.
Right.
So it's all looking very interesting.
And who else is speaking?
So also there's someone called Glenn Prendergast, and he is representing a whole new system. You could be interested in this. A whole new system of delivering remedies far more quickly into the blood system. And he'll have all that information there, and that's going to be in the afternoon. So that's something that virtually no one knows about. It's brand new.
Exciting.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you.
Well, a great pleasure. Thank you, Robin. And I'll send you a copy so you can put this out as well.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Okay, all the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.